Border Patrol have one of the toughest jobs in federal law enforcement. They are the most assaulted federal law enforcement in the United States. More than 7,400 Border Patrol agents have been assaulted since 2006. That rose in FY16 by 20%, and year to date, we're seeing an increase of assaults of 200% from the previous year to date.
Yep,
it's a dangerous job.
That's what the Border Patrol is going through as we see this surge along the border. And now talks among other cities and states that have sanctuary cities that they're going to continue to defy federal law. What's going to happen when Donald Trump is president? Doug McKelway from the Fox News Channel is joining us right now, talking about that story today on Fox. What's going on, Doug?
Well, good to see you, Mark. The signs of this brewing fight over sanctuary cities are everywhere. You can expect it to happen from that airplane we saw over Mar-a-Lago last week over the Thanksgiving weekend, which said, "You are in a sanctuary county, Mr. Trump." If you go to the homepage of the American Civil Liberties Union today, there's a big picture of Donald Trump with the caption, "See you in court." We've heard message after message from big city mayors, including Rahm Emanuel in Chicago, who told many illegal aliens there on November 9th, the day after the election, that you are safe in Chicago, you are in Chicago. There are literally hundreds of counties and cities, not to mention churches and campuses across the United States, which have declared themselves sanctuaries against deportation. And while that definition of sanctuary is very loose, the common thread here is that it means for local law enforcement in those jurisdictions not to ask, not to tell about legal status. And that is all going to change in the Trump administration.
Yeah, I imagine that it will. And, I think about this because as a conservative talk show host, I've been pretty critical in the past when the administration has tried to, in effect, blackmail the states into doing things they wanted by threatening to withhold tax dollars. Particularly, I'm thinking back to the transgender bathroom issue with the schools and threatening to withhold education funds. But in this case, these cities are defying federal law. Is that a tool for Donald Trump to say, listen?
And to your point, it also goes to the states' rights case, and many conservatives, many Republicans all generally favor the states' rights issue. But, this is an interesting twist in that sense. We're already seeing this happen in Texas, and it's kind of a prelude, I think, to what will happen at the national level when Jeff Sessions takes over control of the Justice Department. Greg Abbott told us just this week that as governor of Texas, he has already used his powers to withhold funds to those cities or counties that are declaring themselves sanctuary cities. They're also going to have a legislative session in Texas recently where they're going to pass a law banning sanctuary cities. And we're hearing from, mayors of the sanctuary cities and other jurisdictions that they're going to be resisting that. So this is undoubtedly going to end up in the courts. The ACLU, for example, already has lots and lots of lawsuits filed in this endeavor, and I can't but expect this to end up in the Supreme Court, which again illustrates the absolute importance of this divided court. It now has a vacancy left by the death of Judge Scalia, and Donald Trump is going to be filling it. It's a hugely important issue.
I don't know if this is a focus, Doug, of what you're covering today, but there's a story out about the University of Illinois talking about studying sanctuary status for its campuses. Can state institutions like universities really get away with this?
Well, I suspect they're going to try to. Tucker Carlson on our air this week, or last week, I think it was, interviewed Michael Roth, who's the president of Wesleyan University, who also says they're not going to cooperate with what they call extrajudicial deportation. Wesleyan, for example, receives $20 million in federal grant money every year. You can expect that money to be withheld if these university presidents go about the business of providing sanctuary spaces for illegal aliens. Again, I suspect that will end up in court as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Doug McKelway from the Fox News Channel. Look forward to your reports today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Always great to have Doug on and see him standing out in front of the White House all the time there on the Fox News. So that's kind of